It's no secret that Anthony Edwards is one of my favorite players in all of basketball. A very easy player to root for off the court and a very fun player to watch on the court. Anthony Edwards is trending towards one of the better guards in the league after a very promising rookie season. In today's video, I want to talk about what I like about Anthony Edwards, some areas I think he can improve on, what I think he can put up numbers-wise in his second year, and overall just the expectations I have for Anthony Edwards in his sophomore season in the NBA. But before we get into today's video, if you're new and you like basketball, I really think you would love this channel. So if you haven't already, feel free to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos that cover the NBA draft, and high school basketball as well. So if any of those things are of interest to you, this is the channel for you. Let's try to get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Also, make sure you go check out my other channel where I make videos to take elements from film essays and apply them to basketball. Link to that channel will be in the description below and in the pinned comment, so go check that out and subscribe over there if that interests you. I have a big project planned over there, so you don't want to miss out on that. But with that being said, let's get right into the video. When you talk about Anthony Edwards, obviously the first thing that stands out is his physical gifts. At 6 feet 4 inches tall and 225 pounds with a +5 wingspan, on top of elite athleticism, Anthony Edwards was one of the most physically gifted guards basketball has ever seen at just 19 years old as a rookie. These are physical tools that even some of the best ever could only dream of, and I really like how he used his physical tools to his advantage more as a rookie. The highest percentage of field goal attempts by distance on his 2-point field goal attempt was in the 0 to 3 foot range at 30.6%, with the second closest being in the 3 to 10 foot range at 14.5%. I was also encouraged by the fact he only took 4.7% of his shots from the 10 to 16 foot range and only 7.2% of his shots from the 16 to 3 point range. Taking less long twos was something I wanted to see him improve on entering the league, and the stats in the eye test back up that he has shown improvement. He still does need to work on his shot selection, he still does settle for jumpers at times. However, he's not the first and he won't be the last to struggle with this kind of problem at a young age, and he showed signs as a rookie of improvement in my opinion throughout the year in this regard, so that is something that's very encouraging. I'm also very encouraged by his improvement efficiency-wise throughout the year and production-wise throughout the year. In the first 36 games of the season, he averaged just 14.9 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, and 2.5 assists per game on a horrendous 46.62 shooting percentage and 29.1 minutes per game. In 36 games after the All-Star break, he averaged 23.8 points a game, 5.3 rebounds a game, and 3.4 assists per game on a 56.72 shooting percentage and 35.2 minutes per game. This just isn't a case of a guy getting more minutes and getting more shots. He became more efficient and more productive, which is always an encouraging sign. However, there are areas of the game that I would like to see Anthony Edwards improve on in his second season in the NBA. The one that stands out to me the most is his ability to draw fouls. Anthony Edwards only averaged 3.8 free throw attempts per game. Compare that to guys who don't quite have the frame that he does, like John Moran, who averaged 5.9 free throw attempts per game, De'Aaron Fox, who averaged 7.2 free throw attempts per game, and Colin Sexton, who averaged 6.4 free throw attempts per game. And you notice that while Anthony Edwards has a massive physical advantage over all three of those players, he does average a decent bit less free throw attempt wise, which is something I do think he will need to improve on. Edwards has the tools to get to the line at will, he just needs to put those tools to good use. I also think Anthony Edwards could be a much better defender. He has all the tools to be really good on defense. He just isn't right now. You can tell he doesn't use his physical tools to his advantage all the time. I do think that it is fair to give him time and be patient with this. Not all players are good defenders as rookies, to say the least. However, I do think, again, because he has these immense physical tools that suggest that he could be really good on defense, I do want to see a decent amount of improvement in this area in year 2. I also think he could be a better rebounder. He averages 4.7 rebounds a game as a rookie, and his physical tools suggest he could average around 6 to 7 rebounds per game, maybe even more than that I know that may seem much for a guard, but considering the fact that, again, he's 225 pounds and really athletic, I think he could average more rebounds per game. I would be encouraged by seeing more passing flashes as well from Anthony Edwards. He did flash some passing stuff as a rookie that I was encouraged by, I will admit that. However, I do want to see him improve on it a bit more. I do understand that he is wired to be a scorer, so I don't expect him to be this pass first, get his teammates involved kind of guy, like a James Harden level passer with a 2-guard spot or a Luka Doncic level passer with a 2-guard spot. However, I do want to see progression in this area of the game for him. As a shooter, he did show progression as a rookie, but I want to see him keep it up. He definitely was streaky as a 3-point shooter. However, he was better than I thought he would be in this regard. I do think that he does struggle with consistency, and that's the area we want to see him improve on. I think his shot selection improving will play a big factor in him potentially improving this area of the game. But overall, a lot of what I want to see Anthony Edwards improve on in year 2, minus the passing and shooting, is just things that really just say, hey, use your physical tools and use your athleticism to your advantage more. That's really what it's about. It's something that really goes back to when I was covering him when he was coming out of Georgia, is, listen, you have immense physical gifts. You are athletic, you can overpower your defenders, you can do all these things physically. Just do those things more and use those things to your advantage more. That's what it's really about for him. And I think if he starts to realize that, I think he is starting to realize that. He noticed throughout this rookie year, you can kind of tell that like he's kind of realizing how easy the game can come to him. You know, if he improves on that, you know, he has a chance to make the progression towards this unstoppable player that I think he can become. My year 2 stat prediction for Anthony Edwards is 22.4 points a game, 5.2 rebounds a game, and 3.5 assists per game on 44, 34, 81 shooting splits. I expect to see him make a slight stat jump. You know, even with D'Lo and Beasley likely there for a whole year now, I think Edwards will be a serious focal point of the offense coming off a really good rookie season as the team's #1 pick. He is a potential cornerstone of that franchise, and I think the Wolves will start to treat him as such in year 2. I think he's starting to establish himself really as like the clear cut, you know, outside of like Karl Anthony Towns, who I still think is like the guy on the team, like the clear cut #2. Like I like D'Lo as a player, maybe not as much as others do to say the least, but like I don't think he has the potential that Edwards does. I think Edwards showed a lot of stuff in his rookie year that was encouraging, and obviously we don't know what's going on with Malik Beasley, to be quite honest with you. If you were to ask me where Anthony Edwards' ceiling is right now, I would say his ceiling is a high-end #2 on a playoff contender. And here's the thing, I wouldn't be shocked by the end of this season if he makes another jump in his potential ceiling the same way he did from going from college to the NBA for me. Because entering the league, I thought Anthony Edwards' potential was like an all-star kind of player, but not quite, you know, the high-impact all-star player. You know, somebody that put up good numbers, but maybe was on like a 45-win team year in and year out. But on a contender, he's like a third option. And I predicted he would only average like 14 points per game in his rookie season. And he shattered that expectation for me. I wouldn't be shocked again if this happens. Again, based off what I saw in his rookie season, I believe his ceiling is a high-end #2. Again, though, based like the same way I thought that his ceiling entering the league was, you know, this all-star that wasn't the highest impact kind of all-star player, based off again what I saw at Georgia, and again my most recent, you know, one being based off what I saw in his rookie year. Maybe he shows stuff to show a jump in his potential ceiling based off what I see potentially this year. That's the best way I can put it. Anything is possible, and that's what you love about basketball. It's what I love about covering the draft. You can put in all the work you want, but at the end of the day, no matter how much you put in, no matter what you see, no matter what you can point out, anything is possible. And that's, again, the joy that I find in covering basketball, and it's why I love making content about it. But that's the end of this video. If you've made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all those things, be a big help to me. Let me know what you think about Anthony Edwards. You know, do you agree or do you disagree with what I've had to say? You know, what do you think he needs to improve on? What do you think he's already good at? What do you think he's going to put up in year 2? Could he potentially make the All-Star team? I think it's a bit far-fetched, but Who knows? We'll have to hear that feedback in the comment section below. Again, if you haven't already, go check out my other channel. I have a very special project planned over there, so I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to know when that video goes live. But yeah, that's all I've really had to say. Have a nice day.